order. It is 6:31. I do not have a question today, so all we're going to do is go around the table, introduce ourselves, and indicate whether you're a commissioner or a community member, which district, and what one thing are you looking forward to between now and spring? So I am Bob Rice. I am chair of the planning committee, and I am a commissioner from District 1. And the thing I am looking forward to, my grandson is at the North Carolina School of Arts, finishing his senior year in high school, and his first performance is in February, and I'm driving down and joining the entire family to watch him dance. Ooh. You're next.
Okay. My name is Keith Wilbur. I'm commissioner for District 3. I'm looking forward to more hours of sunlight. I don't really care for the dark and the gray, for sure.
Hi, my name is Lauren Davis. I'm a community member for District 3, and that is actually a really good one, and I'm going to say that too. I need sunshine in my life.
My name is Gerald Edwards. I'm commissioner for District 2. I'm also looking forward to some more warm weather, some more time to be outside and run. So.
Julie Carpenter-Cuban. I'm a community member for District 1, although I have to admit I have to check my name tag to see which district I was in. What I'm looking forward to is we have 3 grandsons who live in Columbus now, 2 just moved back here with their parents, and they're all under the age of 7. So I'm looking forward to our next sleepover at grandma's.
Hi, I'm Jill Frost, community member for District 2, and I am looking forward to making a decision on one of the flights that is in my shopping cart and go and find my son. Florida, probably on the west side, on the Atlantic side, Gulf side, because I've never been to the Gulf side. So that is what I am.
Candace Because, I am the vice chair for zoning, and I am looking forward to my doctor back.
Casey Chris, District 2 zoning committee, and I'm looking forward to our 7-month kitchen renovation coming to us. Tony Lococo, zoning committee, committee member, District 4, and secretary of the zoning committee. Looking forward to warmer weather.
Vice Katz, District 1, zoning committee commissioner. I'm looking forward to getting my bike back outside. I put it on this training wheel a month ago, and I would like to not be on that.
Roy Lowenstein, District 4 Commissioner, Zoning Chair. Similar to some of these other things, here we are in the heart of winter, and all I can think of is, the weather getting better, so we spend more time outside.
Marlene Hanser-Humphrey, Commissioner for District 1, and I am looking forward to taking one of my 23 grandchildren to the Meta Lab.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sharif Benson, District 4 Commissioner. Weirdly enough, I started a new job. I go to work at 7:30, 7 o'clock. Sun is not up when I leave, and it doesn't come back until the next morning when I'm already at home at 6:30. So literally the sun.
All right, thank you all. So we have no old business. Under new business, the first and only application is 850 Oak Street, BZA 25-165. The Foundation of Love for Youth, the Fly House. Come on up. You have 3 to 5 minutes to present your project and the variances you need, and when you're ready, we'll start.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself as well.
Right. So my name is Tyra, better known amongst the youth as Miss Tyra. Just quick for background, I am a licensed independent social worker
supervisor, and I have a group home at 850 Oak Street, Columbus, Ohio 43205, for kids who are in the care foster care system. This doesn't have anything to do with the parking and why we're here, but my mission is to change the trajectory of their futures and how they're treated in foster care, especially in congregate settings like group homes. One of the things that I'm currently working on is expanding and creating a neighborhood called Home for Good for kids who are in foster care. It's a lot more and it's not developed yet, but we're in the process of it. And the reason being, I'm going to read a little statement, but the reason being is because these kiddos, they're moved from placement to placement, and what they get is called a 30-day notice. And then once they get that 30-day notice, we can either let them know or not. And a knock on the door means you're moving somewhere else. However, we don't do 30-day notices. And a lot of that is because I think that that is not trauma informed. And I think that we're giving them the same message that we don't care, we're giving up on you, you do something wrong, you're out of here. So one of the things that I'm gonna read, pause for a moment, wherever you are, imagine what it feels like to live with constant uncertainty without the ability to unwind because you never know where you'll be next week or even tomorrow. To know the sound of a knock on the door could mean pack your things, we found another placement. Can you imagine? Most of us do not live with those thoughts, but for so many kids in foster care, that's their reality. All too often, with no warning, no explanation, and no say in where they'll go next, youth are caught in a painful cycle of re-traumatization, one that shapes how they think, feel, and behave, leaving little room to heal or grow. Over time, they stop unpacking, stop getting attached, stop believing that home means forever, and slowly they lose hope. So, good evening again. I explained to you what the property at 850 Oak Street is. We've been there for about 4 years now. We are licensed through Department of Children and Youth Services, formerly Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. And what we are proposing is to take off the we're requesting a variance to provide zero off-street parking to reflect the actual operational need, not a maximum or theoretical use. We're requiring that because we have maybe 1 to 2 staff on duty at all times, so we don't take up a lot of parking spaces. It's a public parking parking street. We haven't had any issues in the past regarding the parking over the years. And we have looked into private parking lots and renting spaces just to appease this rule. However, there are no private parking that's close to us. We can park in the Fran Ryan Center as long as they're open because they're a public parking space as well. And then there is no room to create parking spaces, like to create a parking lot or anything. It's just a big house on a public street. That's it.
Thank you. Could you describe what is behind the house in terms of the reason you can't have parking behind the house?
It's a 4-unit, like a 4-unit home, apartments.
Oh,
And across the street
Yeah.
apartments. And then behind, oh, there's the house.
Yeah, no,
Right
we
here.
always try to.
That's
Yeah, so is this the 4-unit or
that's the 4-unit right there.
the
That's
red
one.
or the
The red.
Okay.
And then the big house, that's us. And then behind it, what you see fenced in, that is like a deck porch. And that's just, that's where the boys can kind of get out, chill, get some fresh air.
Walk right by.
Yeah, we can't turn that
Right, Madison's right. Well, this is an old photo, but
Mhm.
it's right there now.
No, it's there, right. Right.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the planning committee?
Yeah.
Do you know what triggered this need for a variance for you by any chance?
Oh, absolutely. So House Bill 315, House Bill 315, well, let me back that up. Someone kind of started selling policies and procedures to open group homes, thinking that, it was an easy thing to do, which we all know that raising our own teenagers are not easy. So raising, teenagers who endure a lot of trauma is definitely not easy, but they deserve love. So a lot of group homes started opening in the Dayton area. So they're trying to like regulate things and get like we have to be zoned now and all of that. So when I went to get the place zoned for a group home, then that's when they were like, well, you need to have this many parking spaces. So that's what.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm. Which it should be regulated. Okay, this is like past my time, but it should be regulated because, yeah.
Any other planning questions? Chair Lowenstein?
So, on the same topic, I really don't understand. You're open 4 years, you opened a group home. Group homes have always required regulation in Columbus. I mean, I'm familiar with that because I used to work in that field a very long time ago, and I remember residential care facilities are regulated, and that would have required a zoning review when you went to open this.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious about is, how did you get a license? You probably have a license from the city,
From the
of the
state.
residential care facility.
We do now, we have to go through this, but that's what we are pursuing now. But we did not need that. And I mean, we had to have like the fire regulations and the fire code.
Yeah,
The
I
fire
mean, you
chief
needed
comes
a
out
food service
monthly.
license, you needed, the fire department had to inspect you.
Yes, so we
There
have
were
to
a
have
lot of
that.
things like that, so I'm just a little curious how you were able to get open without any off-street parking in the first place.
Because that's why they're regulating the.
But that's not an answer. I mean, with all due respect, I'm asking, how did that happen then? Like, no one raised a question, I guess, is what you're saying. No one
Correct.
questioned at the city that you had no off-street parking.
Correct. Yes.
Sounds like there's a backtracking and reviewing.
I guess so. All right, well, I believe you. It's just like I wanted to get to the point of understanding what went on here. So at some point, is the city of Columbus concerned about you not having that now? Or is it the licensing at the state level that triggered your needing to have either the off-street parking or a variance for it? Which is it?
The state level.
The state.
So the state is
So the
beginning to
city-
regulate the industry.
Okay. All right, clear enough. So you have 1 or 2 staff, and so far it's working out for them to park on Oak Street.
Right, and when we have meetings with all staff, we usually have them at Cohatch, well, now the Fran Ryan Center.
Right.
But we don't have them at the house. But usually Cohatch, Polaris, because we take the boys and baby busters.
All right.
That was my question too.
Yeah, anything else? So that's the only thing you're here for, really, is to get support for a council variance, or is that a BZA?
It's a BZA.
I'm sorry, BZA approval for parking.
That's it.
Okay? I got nothing else, back to you.
Any community comments? Hearing none, I will accept the motion to approve this project.
Motion to approve by unanimous consent.
Okay, there's been,
You voted already?
I presented a motion to approve by unanimous consent. I mean,
I just,
If we all agree, then it does.
I object.
No problem.
Since we haven't heard, except for one person, 2 people on the committee, I don't know what other people are thinking. I can't make the assumption. I would prefer to have a motion to approve the project.
So that would be in opposition. So I can reword my motion. Motion to approve Benson.
All those in favor, raise your hand, please. 6, 7. Any opposed? Any abstentions? As Commissioner Benson projected, it was approved unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's okay. So we should probably describe the next process. So zoning, I think they still have to do a site.
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
I saw that in the email.
okay, so I'll let the chair of zoning maybe describe that process, just to make sure you're aware. I don't know if you've done this before, or if you know exactly how it works, but it might be helpful. Commissioner Lowenstein?
We're actually, Vice Chair came up with the idea, this is such a nominal request.
Yeah.
That she's suggesting maybe we don't even need to have a site visit meeting.
However,
But then,
should we take a vote?
That was gonna be nice. If you don't do a second.
There's nothing in the bylaws that says it's.
sure,
I only know because I recently reviewed it because of the whole
Yeah, 'cause,
debacle
like,
with
I have-
planning.
it doesn't, no, I know the bylaws don't
It
say,
just says a vote has to be had by planning and then has to be had by zoning. It doesn't
could-
necessarily say that we need it.
I'm gonna-
Or it doesn't explicitly say, I should say, it doesn't explicitly say. It says on the website, but that's not our bylaws.
Do we need the motion to waive?
Yeah, I would say,
Yeah,
let's do a vote to waive the site visit.
We're doing you a favor here, I know we're tying you up for an
No,
extra 5
you're
minutes,
you're
but-
fine.
We're saying
Although
to a Saturday morning.
Although sometimes, I'm excited for people to come see my babies.
I
Like
would
seriously,
motion
like,
to waive,
yeah.
site visit
Both times.
and to vote, and yes, you do have the same motion, or you not? And to vote tonight.
Second, please, guys.
Alright, all in favor? Okay,
Great.
we're not gonna do a site visit meeting, it seems so unlikely that we've learned more.
But to
Being
your,
there.
to your point
How precious
about
they
having
are.
people come and see your kiddos, this sounds like something our community engagement committee might be interested in. We can absolutely give them your contact information and have them reach out and you can kind of share the work that you're doing in the community and
I love that. That's amazing.
Alright, we only now voted to,
yes, now we need a vote.
Yeah.
but actually, the committee was to vote.
I motion approval.
Second, please, guys.
Okay, so you've actually gotten through 2 committees tonight.
Right.
And, have the minutes,
I'll write them up.
the minutes reflect that, and then, so you will only then come back to see us on the 12th of February,
Okay.
right here. So you'll be on the very short zoning agenda, in fact, you'll be it.
Okay.
We're having a lull in development, so.
To follow up with the local,
I already sent this to Otina.
thank you so much.
So they have, all of the information. There was no questions. Their meeting this month was a social event last night. So, if there's anything that comes up between now and the general body meeting, I'll let you know, but like I said, I've already sent it to this.
I have one question, Chair Lowenstein. With this, the neighbors are not gonna be notified of this request for a parking variance. That's the only fine.
They'll get a notice for the BZA meeting.
And for the general body meeting with the letter, correct?
No, they won't.
The letter is always about the site visit.
So that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
What we could do is have the applicant fill out the cards and notify them about the general body meeting where neighbors then should come instead. So we do have those cards here.
Before you
And
do
this,
that.
and the message on the card says nothing about, yeah, doesn't say that. So we're gonna ask you to do that, so that at least we can say, because we always attempt to get input from neighbors about it. But normally, it's to get them to the site visit meeting where the zoning committee would vote. So you have a little bit of work to do here. So, we're gonna give this stuff to you. And I can show you how to fill out the card, each card. You're gonna have to fill all of them out, because all of the people who are on this, tear-off sheet, they're all gonna get these postcards that the city of Columbus provides to us. So it's the Near East Area Commission. The application will be presented for recommendation. The date will be February the 12th. the location is here, 1393 East Broad Street, and the time would be 6:30, which is when that meeting was held. And I think you could probably figure out the rest of the things on there, but if you need any help, either one of us or Mr. Ovalle, who's the city liaison, can help.
Okay.
So you need to come and get these.
Yes,
Fill
I
them
am.
out. And there's no rush on getting these back because the meeting isn't till a week, later than the site visit meeting, but really by next week,
We'll have them.
you need to have gotten these cards, bring them back and get them to Mr. Ovalle.
And he will mail them.
So bring them here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he'll mail them, we've had inconsistency with developers mailing things, so
Okay.
we've watched yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
If you have
We
any
can do that.
questions, reach
Yeah.
out.
Not a problem. We
Can
can
I-
definitely do that.
If I may, just explain the rest of the process really quickly. He explained that those postcards will go to the folks in the area within
125 feet.
Yeah, and then that is to notify them of the voting that will happen at the general body meeting. So folks may show up at the general body meeting based on that letter. They may have opinions about the project. Just want to make sure you're aware of that so you don't come in not knowing like what's potentially going to happen. I don't think that it's ever that big a deal, but I just want to make sure you're aware.
I'm aware. And we sent letters out and, well, most of the neighbors know we've been there for so long, but we did send letters out and then we sent out like how to contact us and it takes a village flyer and all of that.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
So,
Before we move on the agenda, I wanted to let both the planning and the zoning committee know that after the November meeting where we talked about trying to add renters to the mailing list, I looked at what we get from the city and we get both the PDF and a Word file. I have been not able to actually update the Word file for page 50, but I will try in the future, starting with the February meeting, to update the card, the labels for Mr. Valle, so he has that before the meeting in September.
So can I
So
ask
you're
a
gonna do it by
question?
hand?
Yeah,
Wow.
Can I ask a
usually
question?
there are not a lot of rental properties. I mean, in some cases there are quite a few, but there may be 2 or 3. So and really all I do is go to the address, and address it to not only the owner, but to the current resident. So it's a pretty easy update. And because it's,
So we're required, I don't know what the language says. Does the language say we're required to notify the property owner within 125 feet specifically? Or does it say address or tenant?
It says
Or-
property owner, which is
Correct.
why
It
the list that
specifically
gets
says-
generated is based off of the auditor's site is what you're getting. And so Commissioner Rice is suggesting that he's taking his time to go above and beyond what the request is.
I was gonna say, can't we just, review that and send it to the address if it's not the property owner?
It sounds like that's what you're doing.
yeah,
right
that's
now.
what I do.
So you need an addressee, and it's not the simplest world to find out who actually lives there.
Right.
But if you're just sending it to occupant, that works too. Like, you don't
You
have to
can.
actually do
Why
the
not just send
research.
it to resident?
Yeah.
You
I mean,
can, but, yeah.
The issue is that from the auditor's site, it doesn't give the address of the property, it gives the address of the owner.
Understood.
So what I'm doing is looking up the owner and finding what the address is.
Yeah.
It's a fairly straightforward process.
Yeah, Commissioner Lowenstein was suggesting that we could actually do research to find the name of the resident, and I don't think we need to do that.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
it's more that you're just
Yeah.
saying current resident and then the address. Yes.
All right, so there are no demolitions, and we have one conceptual review. It is 907, 917 East Main Street. Please come to the table and introduce yourselves, and please let us know what you are planning to do. Good evening.
Evening, guys. So my name is Chinadum and Duplay. I'm the principal of Kingsley and Company. We're a real estate development and construction management firm. We're actually based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm personally actually from the Columbus area. I went to Dublin Coffman High School, and mom and dad still live out in Powell, Ohio. So I'm extremely excited to come back to Columbus and work on the 907 East and 917 East Main Street site. It is, in our opinion, exactly what we typically look for on our projects. It's underutilized. It's been vacant for a number of years. We primarily focus on urban redevelopment and really activating underutilized properties. So, how do you want to flip? Do you just want to?
You just let me know, and I will just go slide by slide.
So, the reason why I'm here tonight is to really make this committee, this organization, aware of our intent to redevelop the site. From our perspective, any type of community engagement is a good thing. I'm simply here to hear feedback on our proposed plan. I'm here with Christopher, who's with Berardi Architects. They've done a number of projects, primarily in this situation is for workforce housing. But we are going to be, we would consider this affordable housing. We're going to be applying to the Ohio Housing Finance Agency for a competitive 9% credit. That is one of the primary tools, speaking of this and knowing that Roy has probably done more of these deals than anybody, I think, in the city. The primary way to finance affordable housing. So we're extremely passionate about that. Our firm has broken ground on a number of projects. We've completed 2 9% awards. We just closed on the Blair. It's a continuation of our other 9% deals, a 4% project, 30 to 80% AMI. What we're proposing to do here is a 30 to 60% AMI project, a total of 65 units. You can go ahead and continue to click. 65 units. Our current plan, you can go to the next one. And one more. So the current plan that we have, and Christopher can speak a little bit more to this, the current zoning allows us to do up to 150 feet high. We're only planning to do 4 stories. The 4th story is going to be set back. And so it's going to be a total of 65 units. 52 are going to be 1-bedrooms, 9 of them are going to be the studio units, and then the remaining 4 are going to be 2-bedrooms units. And it's going to be catering to a senior population, so 55 and older. We believe that this census tract where this site lies should be fairly competitive, but it's going to have on-site laundry, community room, fitness center, on-site management, mailroom, elevator building, as well as 32 surface parking spaces on site. And so, with that, Christopher, is there anything you might want to share as well?
Not really a whole lot. We're just basically trying to go through the zoning as we're interpreting the zone in the new, as the site is identified as an urban core district. So it does actually give us the ability to go higher, but we're, Mr. Chin is saying that we're just going 4 stories, and we're just looking into the step back that is required on the 4th level. That requires us to actually step back 20 feet from the property line on the side and the rear of the property lines. But
Can you clarify that one more time?
from my interpretation, after 35 feet, you do have to step back from the property line 20 feet.
On the 4th floor?
Yes,
Oh,
essentially, yep.
Yeah.
So that's why we have this plan where it kind of shows it does actually step back and turn those units into studio units, which of course are smaller in area.
So not as ideal, but based on the demand for affordable housing, the studio units should rent as well. One of the questions we did have is overall from a variance request, something, if we were to request a variance, we could actually build more 1-bedroom, 1-bath units, an additional 2-bedroom unit. But as it sits here now, we would convert some of those to studios. So I think overall, at the appropriate time, Mr. Chair, I would love to get that feedback as well.
Is that further down the?
Go all the way back up.
Yeah, this is one of the first ones. So on the first floor, you'll see it's a laundry space. If you're going from left to right, laundry, community center, room, fitness center, and then on the rear side of the building that actually is facing the parking lot, you'll see the stairs, the mail room, and the management office. One of the unique things that we're planning to do, because it's such a tight site, is also provide an area for move-ins and move-outs, staging. And then we actually have a trash room on each floor so that our management team can go in, pick up, and then on the first floor, it's going to be a double-sided door that actually would go into the staging area. So multi-use kind of staging area for move-ins, but also easy access for trash. We've also proposed to have bike racks on the back of the building as well. And then there actually is enough space just for a little bit of green space.
And we're also providing 32 parking spaces that I think in essence for the district is not currently a requirement to actually have a certain amount of parking spaces. But we try to put as much as possible for also visiting, since it's going to be senior, they will be living in.
What percentage of the lot will be covered?
It's a great question.
Actually,
Yeah, that's in front. Oh, sorry. All this.
area is actually 13,000, 13 and a half.
Is that,
um,
these are
square
different
feet
pages.
gross.
No,
Yeah.
that's-
And
I wanted to
there's
see if
about-
there's any detail. Oh.
There's about 0.72 acres.
So if you want to continue to flip down, you can kind of see some renderings as well, elevations.
Just
Yeah.
preliminary elevations and perspectives. Now you can start to see the step back that we actually have.
Is that the front?
This is the rear.
That
Actually, if you
that
go
would be the
further
back.
down,
Yeah.
That's the side.
Yeah.
go lower, this would be the front side, essence.
What type of materials?
So we're actually looking to do brick, a little bit of stone, and then primarily ephes and vinyl on the back side of the building. It's not facing. So
I believe there's also that requirement of fourth floor, 14 feet on the first level, just to accommodate the street side for scale, and provide brick.
Under the new zoning code, are there any parking spaces required?
There is none, I believe so.
I can pull up the map too.
yeah, there's as we interpret it, there's no parking that's required. But for us, you know, even though for our senior buildings, cars isn't as big of a need, but we still, just from a marketability standpoint, we want to build at least a few parking spaces. So 65 units is kind of the threshold for when we can maximize the credits that are going to be, you know, we're applying for. So we did feel the need to build as much parking as we can without going to an expensive parking deck.
Your syndicator's gonna hate you for that.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, you know, I do think the need for housing, you know, will offset that as well.
The award for Montech is in July.
Yeah,
Today?
yeah, it's more in the May
Oh,
time.
okay.
So our goal is for this project is also to submit for home dollars as well. So I think part of that process and that we need to confirm is, you know, that we came and spoke about this project to NEAC. We're not going to be, because I know that, how do you say it, Tina?
Otina.
Yeah, big jump off party last night. We weren't able to speak to that organization last night, but our plan is to also come and speak. So this plan that we're showing you today does not need a variance, as we interpret the code. So, yeah. And, you know, just one bit personal note, you know, it's on Main Street. I'm such a sucker for like the alliterations, and it's called, we call the project Mercy on Main. My grandmother, who kind of raised myself, my family, my siblings, we always have one grandmother, the good one, and the other one that's real stubborn. Mercy was a good one, so we're calling it Mercy on Main. You know, still love them both, but she was always a little bit friendlier than our auntie or our grandmother Grace. So
Thank you for giving us a good grandma.
you gotta give me a good grandma. So Mercy on Main is what we're calling it, and you know, we're just looking to get any kind of feedback you might have about the project.
If you guys go further down, there should be some more perspectives and just general axons so you can kind of see the whole building itself. This would be coming from the rear side.
What's your
55 plus,
setback?
so no subsidy, right?
What's that? I'm sorry.
55 plus, so there's no subsidy involved.
No, we're gonna apply for everything under the moon to be able to make it make sense and pencil. And again, I know that some of you guys are experienced with affordable housing, and we're gonna request assistance from the city, we'll request assistance from the county, state funding obviously through OFA, and any other kind of abatements, that we might be able to explore. So,
Do you own the property?
no, it's currently under contract. So we're under contract, OFA requires you to have site control, for a certain period of time past, the award announcement, and we've qualified for that as well.
Is this setback from curb?
I think it's different.
The front?
Yeah, different
Yeah, the
sides.
front.
The front is 0, actually.
And from the curb.
From the curb, I did not look at that specifically.
It matches the two buildings. on
But
the
there's
side.
roughly about 12 feet. Yep, it matches the face of the buildings, facing Main Street. From the rear and the sides, there's almost 0 requirements, but we've in essence just put 10 feet of setback from the property lines.
And the interesting thing about it's kind of bordered by two buildings. Neither of the buildings have that setback on that side.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's the interesting thing that we saw. So, yeah, okay. So but again, we're always looking for the path of least resistance, and but also wanted to kind of hear some feedback on whether a variance application would be something that you guys would be open for to eliminate that 4 floor setback. Not asking for one, but just
Is
one.
there a building on the corner there or not? It's not showing one.
There is.
There is.
I don't think that's the right site that you guys are looking on.
Yeah, I may be at the wrong, I'm trying to make
So,
sure.
yeah, 907 East.
Carpenter.
It's gonna be a brown zoning if you
Uh-huh.
look at that in the legend.
Carpenter Street from this side.
That goes west about like 6 blocks.
Yeah, right there.
Ah, I'm so
That's
sorry.
it, yep.
There we go. Okay.
That is not.
Oh, that is not it, okay, where am I here?
You're right.
So there's a park directly across the street from that.
It's 909
Wrong
East
direction.
Main.
Yeah, 909, it was technically 907 dash
On
974.
Google Maps, it comes up as a parking spot, as
Yeah.
909 East.
Okay.
This thing's supposed to.
You're halfway there, maybe.
I should not be this far away, it's not supposed to take me to 907.
Yeah, it's further west.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Like, yeah, I was on my house.
They've been killing me like Backstreet Drivers.
Even the new zoning code requires you to have a side yard setback in an urban core.
No, I don't think it requires, I think they said that they're just doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just doing that. I actually have it on here that I was looking at earlier today. But yeah, it's 0 minimum and 15 max. And we
Why are
provided,
you doing a side yard set? Why are you doing?
we were doing 10 for, actually, we're gonna have some units on the side in the first level. So we're providing enough buffer space.
So you have windows in those units?
Exactly.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? So the long warehouse building, are you taking that out? I couldn't quite tell whether you're using that site or you're right next to it.
We're just right next to it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna stay.
Which, the one on the,
This here?
Yeah, so the front of that is 2-story, so I can understand them wanting setback.
Oh, okay. I see.
Is
what
that
As it goes back further, it's only
Maybe on the
high
other side?
ones.
I don't know how old these images are.
On the other side is a community park.
Yeah, I don't think that building.
I mean,
Just
so
remember, I
that
don't know
might
how
be-
old these images are.
If you're looking at like opportunities within the neighborhood, it's not directly adjacent, but it's one parcel away. Community gardens, seniors, it's more green space for them to be in, you can connect with them and maybe have a garden club or something like that, right? That is mutually beneficial so that they have something that they can get out, do, it's not very far, the garden has some additional help to be maintained, like that kind of thing.
Not like that.
So do we wanna answer their question? I mean, it sounds like the big question is what is the temperature of NEAC to, if they came to us with a variance for no longer having the 4th floors, yeah,
Well, you gotta figure this out like pretty darn quick here, see, because You trying to get to 70 units instead of 65?
Well, it's all about either doing studio units or one bedrooms at the end of the day.
Oh, I
So
see.
we're
So it wouldn't be changing the unit count, it would be just making some of the units bigger to be able to bump them out?
Yeah, so as of today, we are comfortable moving forward with what we've shown you here this evening. But just from a, just community feedback, we just want to get
Like
it
straight view? Oh, give me one.
Street view of the building.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Almost there. Hold on, I think it's rendering. Yeah, that's the other side.
A question.
Yes, please.
What is your plan for the area that is like, I guess that setback area, for the wedding, like, what is that roof for the third floor? Do you have any plan, like any green roof or?
If money wasn't an issue,
Yeah.
we would love to activate that space. I think it would be I think someone just said that, like, something to be able to activate, engage the residents. I mean, that would be prime for that. But these deals are always extremely tight to pencil. Even on the setback side, to me, even as I asked the question of, hey, what are your thoughts on it? The setback on that side. I think it could be an opportunity to activate that for a resident that just wants to step outside and enjoy some air, without going down to the first floor and going out back. Do you have a question?
I do. So there will be no balconies.
Well, that's what I was kind of hinting at, that there could be an opportunity to do balconies on the eastern setback side. And then you could also do a patio out there on that top side as well.
And then the 2 bedrooms, did you say it would be 3 2-bedrooms or 4?
So as we have them right now, they're four two bedrooms.
So it'll be 1 on each floor?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking.
Yes, sir.
And to answer your question about the setback on the 4th floor, it has to do with sunlight and shading, right? And I think in this situation, that's a moot point, because you're shading 2 buildings out each side, you're shading the rooftops of 2 buildings. If there were nothing, beside you, or if there was a single family home and you were concerned about, shading, the sunlight away from that house, I think that would be an issue. I think this 20-foot setback on either side of this building on the 4th floor is pointless.
There's some merit from an aesthetic perspective. And again, I'm just offering it up as another point of view, is that, that forces some building interest as opposed to just being a large L-shaped building, right?
Do you think 20 feet is excessive though?
It could be. It might be interesting if you guys wanted to come back and say like, hey, we're not gonna do the full, we wanna ask for a variance, but our goal is to still maintain, and that's what you guys do, right? So I'm saying, hey, I know that money is an issue, but we don't want an ugly building that's gonna hang tight for a couple of years and then start to deteriorate. So like, let's look at materials that are going to be appropriate for long-term maintainability, both from an exterior and an interior perspective. And then, let's add some interest. This is one of a few new projects on this corridor that desperately needs investment. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having those conversations. But, let's do it right.
Yes, ma'am.
I will say, knowing this business super well, OFA is not gonna let you build something that's not sustainable. They have much higher standards for materials and sustainability than the private market does, so.
That's fair, but if I had a nickel for every piece of vinyl that was coming off of a building on
Well,
Main Street,
it will
I wouldn't have to work
eventually,
anymore.
it will eventually, but at the same time, it's like the material itself lasts 50 years. So it's like, it's about how well it's maintained.
Yeah.
But you're gonna re-syndicate, right?
So,
Yeah, so, for us, like, we're just getting started in this business. The goal is to hold these forever and ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our strategy, that's our
let
plan.
me comment also on what Commissioner address it. I was gonna say something similar. I would say, and I agree with what, Mr. Coco said about fourth floor, that setback for shadow isn't really much of an issue. But I would say the same thing, that if you're gonna get rid of it, do something else that creates building interest. If it's just an L-shaped box, that's not gonna, I mean, cause it's a pretty repetitive design, I'm not criticizing it.
Absolutely.
But that's what it is, and so we don't have an interesting roof line and, give us something.
You don't want this.
No, don't make it look like it belongs in Dublin or Powell.
Oh, you're here.
All right, that's fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, like, do
Yeah.
something that creates the building interest, if
Building
you're not
interest.
gonna do that.
Are there any buildings you guys do like? I'm just,
Yeah,
just so
there
I
are a
just,
lot of buildings we like.
I throw some out. I mean, I would just be curious. Are you guys able to say that
I
from an
thought
aesthetic?
I thought Michael Kelly did a good job on the, new building that he's building with the deal over there. And King Lincoln.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
we
is.
would all
I mean,
agree.
it's not
we
quite
would-
there done yet, but I
We'd
think
all
it's
like
going
that
to be very
one.
cool.
Okay.
We like the Savriel over at, Taylor and Woodland, rather, not Taylor.
Woodland and Greenway.
Woodland and Greenway,
Okay.
that's a nice building, it's not as big as this.
Yeah.
The condo building on the north side of Broad Street, like opposite Franklin Park that went in about a half dozen years ago. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a U-shaped building with a courtyard and center. That's a beautiful building. It's all with brick, it's like, you try to build to that standard. But there's a lot of buildings like that have some, they have some interest and some class. They don't just look like boxes. There were some buildings we don't particularly care for, but
Yeah.
we're not an aesthetics group.
No, I
But
appreciate
we're
that.
all human, and so we like things that look nice.
Better to ask
Absolutely.
for what you want now. Closed mouth is not good.
Yeah.
We don't want to be designing something very mundane. We want something more of an architectural interest as well, because we're gonna be, it's one of the main streets here in Columbus that we want to be activating.
Well, and I know your portfolio, you want to have something good for your portfolio, we're already got good stuff, let's not stop now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, should look a little classy. All right, you got enough?
Sure.
Is there like any, cause I know, you're looking for the credits and whatnot to make this happen. Is there anything that you can get to make it a green room? Like that area? And then the other thing with the sun, are those apartments to the west of this building? Like, is that, oh my goodness.
There is a little bit of retail on there, but there are apartments.
Like that, because there's that like cutout that would be up against your building, and so I think having the setback would probably help whomever lives in that with those tiny cutouts. If that,
And it essentially works as a light well, providing light for them still.
Yeah.
And we do provide about 5 feet just in essence to have that wall as well. Because technically the units don't stop, the light don't actually start. There's only about 40 units from the second and third floor.
Gotcha.
So having that green roof might actually help, but we're also trying to see if we can make that into a public, just a public deck.
just a public space.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just something,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in a
it's still conceptual.
green, would be great.
Would you address your property management plan?
Sure, so we're gonna interview a local and engage a local property management team. We haven't selected one, just yet. We don't do property management, we third party that. And I know that it's, the light tech space is extremely nuanced and it's always changing. And so that's what we're gonna do. Hire someone local that has a good track record, and has a successful kind of portfolio of properties they take care of. Like I said, we're in this for the long run.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Yes.
So this is great. Housing is great. Density is great. If you drove down Main Street though, we're starting to see these buildings pop up like popcorn. Main Street is a main street, right?
Oh, yeah.
You cross Nelson Road, what happens on Main Street? There's stores and apartments and there's commerce, right?
Yeah.
And if we're gonna keep throwing people onto our main thoroughfares and wonderful, beautiful L-shaped buildings, and this isn't probably your bailiwick, but if you're doing development and underused pieces of property, maybe something to think about. It's nothing very sexy about Main Street right now, except that it gets me to that site.
Okay.
It is just not. If I want to shop and I'm not interested in the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, dollar and a quarter tree, I'm just going as fast as I can to get across Nelson's Road. And
They're going fast.
I'm going
People are
fast.
flying.
We've tried to fix that. There are some fixes.
Okay, but anyway, so, so I think that maybe where people are going with the interest that they want to see, and, we don't want it to look like Westerfield.
Absolutely.
We want it to look like Near East Columbus, which is a rich, diverse neighborhood where people kind of eat food, you know, and if you're not gonna have a parking space for every person,
Right.
then there needs to be something close by so that they can get to them. Or that, I don't know what, but it's just, this reminds me of a National Church Residence building, a lot of National Church Residence buildings, which is not a slam on them at all. But I think we're jazzier than Westerville. I think we're sexier than Dublin. And so I would love to see that, whether it is green, I don't know what that means, but what I see is, institution.
Yeah. And I, Ms. Ross, I appreciate that feedback. You know, we're competing against the big groups, like the NCRs, the WODAs, the WALICs, and you know, we're just getting started in this space. These rules and regulations were designed way before I got into this game. And just, I'm not gonna tell you something that we can do.
Oh, no,
You're right, like, it's just one of those things that the retail's not gonna be in this building. But what I would commit to is we're gonna continue to explore. I love Old Town East. I love this neighborhood. I love I love the access to not necessarily Bexley, but downtown. And, you know, it's a great opportunity, and I see that with light tech, but with just a true market rate. So we're looking for other opportunities if they're presented to us. So hopefully that kind of addresses that. But I appreciate the feedback.
I have one other question. Is there a particular reason or strategy that you chose not to have commercial space on the first floor?
Yeah, and Roy, again, I'm going to butcher this, but you can probably speak to it. Just the same reason he said, I'm sure your syndicator's not going to love the parking. Like, there's a formula that a lot of these syndicators look at. You know, they like 1-to-1 parking ratios. You know, you throw in retail, that adds another layer of complexity to our extremely complex space. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know, again, Roy's done a ton of these. I'm on deal 5, I think.
You run into issues too with leasing in particular because investors don't like to see commercial space because oftentimes that income is relied upon for the deal itself, and if it's not, then it's like, well, what are you going to do with that space? What is the space going to be leased? Is it included in the eligible basis of the tax base?
Exactly.
For the property, and so I know it's like a not fun answer. It's like, man, well, people don't like it. It adds like a layer of complexity that's like above and beyond probably like the norm of life tech, right?
Yeah, that's all true, but it costs money to build that space.
True. Yeah.
And no one's gonna underwrite the deal with income being shown, being generated. So you end up having to separately finance the commercial space. It's ugly. These deals are so complicated in the first place, so there's all these disincentives.
Yeah.
I would say one other thing, which is, you know, the building next to it has been sitting there forever. And no one's done anything with it commercially. The only new commercial stuff we're seeing on the street are dispensaries, of which there are 3 now within short walking distance of this.
So we really need food, don't we?
I'm just saying that if there was the demand, if there was the demand for retail use, we would have seen something go in here before now, other than
selling pot.
Hopefully this helps.
And
with
it's
this.
just
Well,
like-
now that we're adding humans, you
Yeah.
probably will see that, but we
I
also
mean,
need
over
to.
time we will,
Over
and I would
time.
be just as concerned as you are with that, if we were down to the last 3 or 4 parcels.
Right.
That hadn't been developed yet, you don't wanna get to that point without there being some retail.
People brings retail.
Right.
But we're not
Yeah.
there yet, there's
Right.
still tons of lots
Mhm.
that are being relatively underutilized, and I'm
Hopefully
not-
the
I won't-
environment, I don't
I'm
know
not
that the
worried about
environment
it
is
yet.
ready for that yet either.
Not worried about it
yeah.
yet. We talked about this when they were doing, Grimes Point, when the finance fund was working on that, just a few blocks further, well, back where Sharif was with his map, over at Pelton, right, when they were working on that. And it was
Partially
like,
liberal.
we had this, the same conversation, oh, how come there's no retail going in, but look across the street, there's all these other spaces. And we also supported when they did the market rate project, the Ethan without commercial space. At some point, it will become a hot topic for us, even though it's not required by zoning to put commercial in on the first floor anymore, because of the zoning change. We'll get nervous about losing those opportunities, but that could be a decade or 2 off yet. I don't know when that will really become a hot issue.
Okay, any other questions?
I just have a comment. The Ethan is one of the apartment buildings that I think is good, how they did their balcony. Cause it doesn't sit out, but it still gives the tenant the opportunity to come out and get some fresh air.
Okay.
And so, I don't wanna say that your building looked like a institution because it's not brought to life yet.
Yeah.
But, I would look at it like it's a hospital or prison.
Institutions.
I let it out, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I appreciate the
Oh,
feedback.
I
Appreciate the
Yeah,
feedback.
we're images of the village.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to
Just if you're in that building, you wanna just open up and get a fresh breeze.
No.
You're not looking at a rendering there, you're just looking at a black and white.
Yeah, just
So
massing
it'll make
elevation.
that- It'll look a lot nicer than that.
I know, but just think the shape of it, just the windows, just
Yeah.
like that. It's like,
To be fair, the Ethan looks like that. That's what the Ethan looks
Yeah.
no,
like.
but
We've been
the
looking
Ethan
at it
got
for
that
years.
balcony.
Community groups, the level of industry knowledge is different and.
Absolutely.
and fuller color renderings.
Yes, yeah.
Means spend
No,
some
we're
time
gonna-
SketchUp
Yeah.
And it's okay if they're renderings, we understand
Yeah,
that.
we're
still
Some color could've went on there.
No, well, you know what? We're so early, but we are kind of getting close to
Trying to
submission.
engage.
So this is great feedback.
I'm
I
sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's
I like it.
unbelievable feedback. I appreciate that. The one thing I was gonna ask, is, am I?
No, I mean.
Go ahead.
So I would just like some type of letter, not of support, but just confirming that we came, we presented.
Sure.
Is that
Yeah.
something that we can,
I'll do that.
that would mean a lot as we can submit that as part of our application.
Feel free to also submit the reference. So all of this is recorded and sent
Okay.
to our YouTube channel. So
Okay.
immediately after that gets posted. So if they want to know word for word what was said, there's a
Okay.
transcript that's generated from that
Awesome.
as well.
Perfect. That's great.
Are there any other comments or?
Can I throw a question,
questions?
not to discuss now, just because they mentioned it? Please, when you come back, if there are any opportunities that you know of that you can help educate the group on how we can start to do this simultaneously, where we're getting housing, but also trying to get like businesses, retail to come in. You folks may see that on your side as it may be beneficial to you as we talk about discussion. I'm not as educated as some of the other folks in here, but I think bringing that education to the folks out there and to us may help us actually get what we want rather than just waiting for it to come.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you. It was great.
Thank you very
feedback.
much for the
Appreciate it.
presentation.
Appreciate your time.
Let me not forget to give you your feedback.
Okay.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will entertain any, is there any other
Everything in Portland.
questions or comments for the
Obviously.
Okay.
motion to adjourn, please?
I'll adjourn.
Second, Benson.
Wider
Okay,
gray.
moved and
Noted.
seconded. All those in
We're gonna have
favor?
words.
Okay, all right, perfect.
We are adjourned.